Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the summary for the day of 1360 for the 14th of November for the Ukraine war or the special military operation in Ukraine, also known as the situation report, the SITREP. So we're going to start off with the Kherson front as usual. A lot of major crazy frontline changes, particularly on the Komar sector. There is a massive collapse, total collapse in fact, over that sector. So, there's nothing over the Kherson front. The Russian Defense Ministry nor the Ukrainian Defense Ministry mentioned anything over in the Zaporizhia front, in the Kanyamsky and the Orikhiv sector. Yesterday, we have this inkling that possibly there might be a revival of a full offensive of the Zaporizhia offensive, of the Zaporizhia front, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Fighting is reported, also this is wrong color, by the way, this is yellow. So, Russian forces attack Primorsky and Stepnohurst. The latest geolocation suggests that the Ukrainians actually have retaken full control of Stepnohurst. So, that happened. Russian forces also allegedly attacked Novoandrievka. So that's mainly about it. This is a static line. Don't expect too much from this sector. The Russians' main objective is still to go up the Dnieper River, along the Dnieper River up towards Zaporizhia city. So the main battle is actually at Stepnohurst. This is the main fighting area. Just to zoom in a bit, just to show you that the geolocation of Ukrainian forces in the south of Stepnohurst confirm that most of Stepnohurst itself should be under Ukrainian control. Of course, there's still the southern part. We shall wait for more information for this Stepnohurst situation. We move further to the easternmost part of the Zaporizhia front, mainly the Huepole sector, and we'll probably add in a bit of the southernmost part of Komar front. So Russian forces attack over in Yehorivka, Krasnoherske, Privilny, Stolotke. Russian forces confirmed to have captured Yablukove. There is fighting reported in this region, but geolocation confirmed the full capture. The Russian Defense Ministry has also announced the capture. Fighting is now moving towards Vavarivka. Russian forces also has been geolocated just off Zeleny High, confirming that the Russians are now on the beginning to infiltrate into Zeleny High itself. There is a major frontline change on the west of Malinivka. According to the Ukrainian mapping, this is one of the latest information coming out. This is not in the frontline changes report, so this is why you need to watch a SITREP, because from the new SOP, standard operating procedure on the DPA side is that the SITREP will always now have the latest frontline changes because of the change of format. So you may not know what's the format change, so it doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy your birthday. If your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your birthday, if it's not, life sucks. Too bad. It's not your birthday. So sad. It's not my birthday either. So the Russian forces' main push right now is actually this push towards Bavarivka. Potentially, they could swing down to Zatishaya, possibility. But the Russians will probably go for Zeleny High and Vasily in the north of it, and in this direct push to create an eastern wall on Huepole. There is still consolidation operations in this sector here north of this Russian breakthrough region. And then there is also the flanking operations coming up in the north. But there is no reports in this sector. Don't report in the sector for the past 24 hours. The fighting is mainly reported in Yehorivka only. So yeah, but definitely the front line is collapsing very badly. This piece alone, this chunk is 9.36 square kilometers. So things is looking super bad on this Huepole Komar region. We're going to move further up north, so to the Komar front. So this is the Komar front. Let me see whether I can fit in everything. So this is Komar. So and this entire sector is what I call the Komar front. Probably this is only this terminology is only on DPA. I think other channels or mappings, we call this a totally different name, but I don't care about what other people say, because I don't watch them. So yeah, so let me see whether I gotta fit in everything. Okay, everything is in. So fighting is reported as Stepove. Orestopil, Sosnivka, and towards Velika Mihailivka. Russian forces confirmed to have captured Orestopil based on geolocation. The Russian Defense Ministry has also announced a capture, so major advance in that sector. So Russian mapping in the latest mapping have shown that they have actually captured everything south of Veliko Mihailivka. So this sector here is a lot more it has totally collapsed, put it that way. The entire front line here has collapsed. Fighting is reported at Alexandrograd, Zeleny High, Ivanivka, Filia, Yalta, Dashne, and fighting is reported at Horivka, Kotyarivka, but the reality is that the fighting is now at Petropavlivka. The latest geolocations have seen Russian forces entering into the eastern part of Novopavlivka, confirming that the Russians have basically captured all of this salient here. This entire corner here has been entirely taken by the Russian forces. So right now in the Komar front, the main battle right now is over in Novopavlivka. This is the main objective, main operation, the main offensive right now. The battle for Novopavlivka. I think Ivanivka is a static line. Yalta is and Dashne. I think this is dubious. Zeleny High probably is still Ukrainians counterattacking in. I think that's probably what's happening because this is still pretty much a gray zone. Similarly for the Alexandrograd region. However, the other main offensive is currently over in this Orestopil region, with the Russians attacking into Velika Mihailivka. So the entire front line here also have massively collapsed. So there's two areas in the Komar front that is entirely collapsed, and the Russians are making massive breakthroughs in these two sectors. If you have watched the frontline changes report, the total area captured in the past the previous day was more than 100 kilometers in total for the day, and a huge chunk of it is actually coming from this Komar front. So this is a very, very serious situation that's developing over in this sector, and I think the Ukrainians are struggling really, really badly right now in these two sectors. So moving further up north to the Pokrovsk front. So this city of Pokrovsk, this is the city of Minohorod, and so fighting is can I feed in everything? I think I could. So fighting is reported at Molodetsky, Udashny, Kotliny. Russian claims that they have taken the northwest of Pokrovsk. Fighting is still over there. Russian announced the capture of Rock with geolocation confirming it, and then the Russians claim the capture of the center of Pokrovsk. Fighting is reported at Novopavlivka, Lysivka. Geolocation of Russian forces in the south of Minohorod confirming the Russians advance in that sector. Most likely the Russians are attacking over from the east and the north as well. But so far, those two parts have been really, really subdued. We have no reports of that sector. Geolocation of Russian forces at Rodinsky confirmed the Russians advance in that sector. I think it's also reported in Nikonorivka, Volodymyrivka, Potavka, and Rusinya, which the Russians allegedly have straightened the front line in that sector. Geolocation of Russian forces in Bokivka, but not very important because it's in the rear positions. So right now, what's happening is that the Russians are still in the process of consolidating Pokrovsk. They are still trying to capture it. At Minohorod, the main action is coming from the south. The Silisivka region probably went into a like a buffer zone situation or static line situation. The Russians doesn't seem to be pushing, although we previously thought that they're going to want to straighten the front line further up north. That didn't seem to be happening. The fighting at Rodinsky continued to be this flanking operation to go around the north of Pokrovsk. Fighting the rest of this sector here at Nikonorivka, Boykivka, these are probably consolidation. The Russians are attacking Volodymyrivka, and this static line, by the way. And this sector here in the Molodetsky, Udashny, Kotliny region, this is also static line. The push towards Krishine, lagging. The push towards Krishine is no longer happening. So this is not happening tentatively. It looks like the Russians have not want to do that. Maybe they don't want to kill the chances. Like they don't want to demotivate the Ukrainians too much. If they over demoralize the Ukrainians may not want to send people into the kill zone. Then the kill zone will be wasted. I think that's probably what they're thinking. If not, I think for the Russians, they could have potentially done a lot of crazy things. But they never. So, for example, Russians trained a lot of airborne operations in peacetime. How much airborne operations have we seen? only on the day one of the Ukraine war. So they could have done a lot more things. I think they have not been trying to do any of that. So yeah, so that's probably what it is right now. So that's all from this Pokrovsk front. We move further away. There's nothing over in the breakout zone. There's no more breakout zone anymore. We go on to the Konstantinivka front. So this one is a straighter front line as mentioned, Rusinya, Poltavka, in case you're confused. Fighting is reported at Plishevka, Shibenivka. Geolocation of Russian forces confirming the Russians' advance and presence in Kurbanbek. Fighting is reported Konstantinivka and Mainsk. Generally speaking, the Russians are making this big push to do the southern war on the Konstantinivka. This frontline change at Kurbanbek definitely shows the Russians are having some success in that sector. Ukrainians still claim to have a presence in Shibenivka, given the fact that they are still reporting fighting in that sector. So, but most likely this is like a God case scenario. And battle at Mainsk is probably something but yeah, this is pretty static. The line here is going to be pretty if there's any movement, it's going to be really slow because of the heavy fortifications in that sector. If they do push out, it's going to go towards Alexeyevo, Druskivka, or towards Druskivka itself. But this chain of settlement is going to be very difficult to fight in because these are all pretty built up. So I don't expect too much static line. So that's all from the Konstantinivka front. We move further up north to in the northern flank of the Bakhmut front. So this is Mainsk, I already mentioned. Fighting is also reported at Orikovo, Vasilivka, and Vasilkivka. But these are all pretty static. Don't expect too much from this sector. So we're going to go to the Liman-Siversk front. So this is Liman, and then this is Siversk. Over the Liman-Siversk front, as mentioned just now, Vasilkivka that is being mentioned. Fighting is reported at Fedorivka, Berezne, Siversk, Serebryanka, Dronivka, Yampil. So the main action right now is the Russians are trying to do this southern offensive to consolidate the positions in the south of Siversk. The flanking operation is probably ongoing, but I think that the situation more likely to be pretty static. Like the Russians are pretty happy with the line right now, and fighting for Yampil seems to be continuing. I also starting to doubt whether the Russians really wants Yampil or not, because sometimes the Russians have their own strategy and decided that this is just a good place to create a kill zone, and they don't really want to push through. So it's not like World War II. In World War II, the Red Army just want to conquer the grounds and as fast as they can, create huge encirclements and wipe out entire army groups of the Germans. But in this Ukraine war, the Russians operate very differently. Like they seem to have opportunities to capture a lot, but they choose to just hold the line. So which leads to a lot of weird calculations and totally not that accurate analysis. And I think particularly if you go to and follow pro-Russian accounts or channels, you're going to get a lot of analysis that's entirely wrong because they are very motivated and excited, and the Russian military just don't push. That's also the main reason why the Wagner private military contractors revolted against the Russian defense ministry, and then they went to march on Moscow and then realized nobody supports them the way that they think they are being supported, and then and that goes Prigozhin. So that is that is not like that the pro-Russian content creators or analysis or OSIN, they are very excited, they expect a lot, but it's just like the Wagner private military contractors. But I think the Russian strategy, the Russian defense ministry strategy, is probably more correct. Be more patient and not go on this very gung-ho kind of operation, because the more gung-ho you are, the more people dies. Yeah, so that is what it is. So over in our skill front, fighting is reported at Drusilubivka, Ohievka, Novi Mayer, Karpivka, Korovia, Shandriholove, Novoselivka, geolocation of Russian forces advancing in that sector, Drobisheve, Kolozezi, Myrne as well as Zarishne. So this sector here, the aim is to take out this salient, straightening the front line. That is the same. Trying to capture Novoselivka and Drobisheve continues with the operation is to go towards Svetohursk. This is the same. So Karpivka, the fighting at Karpivka and Korovia, the aim is to go towards Oskil. You probably can't see it's off the map, so I kind of push everything east a bit. So Oskil, and then this part here, I always put it as a static line, but as I mentioned in previous SITREP, there might be a possibility of the Russians trying to push out, but there's no evidence to show that they are doing that yet. So we just keep one eye on it, but tentatively, I'm not very bullish about the Russians actually pushing out. I still feel like it's just an increased intensity of skirmish. They stand-off attacks, rather than going on offensive. That's what I think. So that's all from the Oskil front. And moving further up north to the Borova front, we have fighting reported in Novopatanivka. There's fighting reported at Svetoklubove as well as Novoyehorivka. This is interesting because these two towns is both being mentioned. Maybe there is a push, maybe there is not. Both towns is actually already announced to be captured by the Russian forces long time ago, but no evidence to show that that's the case. And then fighting towards Novopatanivka, given that I got scammed so many times, I don't think this is a serious push. So I think Borova front is just a fake front. This is just for show. Maybe the it's already written in the name. It's Borova. Like no serious town is going to call themselves Borova. It's like how can it be called? The serious towns call themselves Novoselivka or Novoselivske. That these are here already. It's like Novo Mikolaivka. Like serious. Like Borova, totally unserious. It's like a joke. So yeah, so maybe that's why the front is like a joke. So over in Kupiansk, this Kupiansk, at the Kupiansk front, fighting is reported in Petropavlivka. There seems to be some advance in the east of it. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, fighting is reported at Pischane. There's no fighting being reported in Kupiansk, mainly because the Russian Defense Ministry did a weekly summary, so I don't map their weekly summary into the report, but there must be battles still ongoing in Kupiansk, but the entire front just went really slow. There is geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting hit by FPV drone, but yeah, this front line is just weird. It just feels like underwhelming, despite how the battle is super important. So it is what it is. Moving further up north to the Voreshna front. This is Voreshna. In this northern part of Voreshna front, there is fighting reported in Nodrane, Vorechanske, Kanyamka, as well as towards Koloziazny. And there is some Russian claim of advance around the Kanyamka region, as well as of Odradne, moving in the direction of Koloziazi. The aim of the operations here is to create a straightened front line. So with the Russian forces taking over all of this salient. So that's the aim of the Russians. So tentatively, still some ways to go because this area is actually really huge. So we're gonna wait and see how this goes. Just to have an indication, the front line here is 14 kilometers long, and this in a straight line. So this is a very big place. So that's all from the Voreshna front. Over in the Kharkiv front, in the Kharkiv region, this Kharkiv, the fighting is still in the Voschansk sector, with fighting reported in Voschansk, as well as Serenikove. No new updates regarding this sector. So that's all from the Kharkiv front, and we go on to the last front line, the Sumy front. So Sumy, no reports. So because the Russian Defense Ministry have no daily report. So that's it. So this is the summary for the day of 1360 for the 14th of November. So thank you for watching. Do subscribe. Press the like button, subscribe now, and yeah, share the video if you think it's useful or interesting or it's easy to understand, and you can send it to those people who are spending way too much time reading fake reports or getting brainwashed by the mainstream media, yeah, send them the video link, tell them to watch DPA. You can get the most non-brain dead reporting about Ukraine. And I'm neutral. I'm not pro-Russia. I'm not pro-Ukraine. But I'm definitely not anti-Russian, nor anti-Ukraine. So I have no game, in this, in no play in this game. I don't really care who wins, and I think both sides is losing. The only people is winning is United States in regards to Ukraine war. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.